We're here on the land of the Ohlone people. And what is different between what the Ohlone people have faced in this land with genocide, massacre, destruction, and what Gaza is facing is that today we're able to see it instantaneously.
Yeah.
But the pain and suffering of our native brothers and sisters still yearning for the day for them to be heard, to be accounted for, to be recognized for their humanity and suffering. Also, in these lands, we brought our African brothers and sisters as cargo in the hulls of ships. And they struggled day in and day out. They revolted. They overtook plantations. They took the master's whip. They prayed for the wind to flow on the master's house. And they continued to define what it means to be human, what it means to resist, and what it means to have equal right and justice, and they continue to do so. We need to remind people, and again, those who are higher up, it's very difficult for them to be reminded between cheese and cracker and wine breaks. Malcolm X spoke in Dunal Hall. Muhammad Ali spoke at Sather Gate. Martin Luther King spoke at these steps. Angela Davis spoke up in here. Every part of the resistance movement in this country spoke in this place, challenging the power of the university. And they were on the right side of history. The chancellor was the wrong side of history. The board of regents was on the wrong side of history. The police was on the wrong side of history. Now we need to understand what is taking place. We have reached a tipping point.
Yeah.
We have reached a tipping point. You know, mashallah, Na'mat Shafiq, the university president of Columbia, she thought that she made it. You know, she got invited to Congress, you know, the shining dumb ground in the hell. She thought she made it. Cameras, action, right? It's not every day that somebody of this magnitude goes. She really thought that she's going to be the secretary of a new department. Again, Department of Nothingness is always open, so all those higher up aspire for it. She came back with orders in hand to crack down on this university. I guess she got the call from Jonathan Greenblatt from the ADL, Anti-Defamation League. I call them the Defamation League. I take the A out. She got the phone call. She got the phone call from those in power to crack down on the students. And we need to thank her. Because the next day, 80 campuses responded to power. Responded to say that you might arrest few of us, but never ever you could actually close the door for all of us, because freedom, justice, dignity, and liberation cannot be contained by the batons of your police or the It is a tipping point in the following. We have to say that the age of European and American supremacy and white supremacy is over. They did not get the memo when Nelson Mandela came out of the jail. They did not get the memo when Zimbabwe got liberated before it was Rhodesia. They did not get the memo memo when Zaire became the Congo. They did not get the memo when Algeria being the small finger of France and we managed to cut it off. They did not get the memo. So today we tell those who don't read history, we tell them the following, that history is on the march. Either you get on the train of liberation, of justice, of freedom, or you're gonna be again to the dustbin of history. And I'm telling you, it's getting larger and larger for so many people that are in the dustbin of history. Now I want all of us to do many things. The four elements that we have in the movement we have to adhere to. But I want all of us to continue writing. I want all of us to continue to write, to be creative, to give the narrative, to give our story, because we are not gonna see our stories on CNN. We're not gonna see our story on CBS. We're not gonna see our story on Fox. We're not gonna see our story in the handmaidens of power. The media is complicit, and we need to be the eyes, the ears, the voice, the narrative of those who have been erased. Yes. They might have demolished the universities in Gaza, but they can never demolish the idea of freedom. Yes. They can never demolish the idea of Palestine. They can never demolish Gaza. And we need to tell them that time for you to think that you're gonna write the history and so-called international law, human rights center, all these hypocrisy masquerading to say that they adhere to the highest. If you read the letter that was sent to the International Court of Justice, that tells you that is how international law was always applied from the white people down to the global south. Today, we no longer listen to adhere to those principles. A new age is upon us. A new age upon us is the age, the end, the tipping point of the end of the world that has been defined by Europe, by the United States, by Eurocentricity. It's time for us to go and read the people of importance, read W.D. Du Bois, read Fanon, read Edward Said, read Khalidi, read those people that are making history. They wrote and understood the struggle of our people. Now lastly, they're gonna tell you, why don't you actually protest nicely? Right? Why don't you be polite? When the bomb and genocide is taking place, politeness cannot be on the dinner table, because we were never invited on the dinner table. We were always on the menu, and the time has come for us to reconstitute the table. And if you don't like our mannerism, we would actually give you a global south mannerism that is actually says all of us are included and no one excluded. Palestine will be included, and until that time, and until that age, and until that moment, don't ask us about being polite.